Well, it's me again, and this is my podcast and my world, where I take you along on an adventure where we get to explore everything and anything that goes on in my mind. Oh boy, is it random, is it crazy, it's nuts, it's all over the place. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's have a good time. Well, good morning, hello, how is everyone? I hope you all are doing fantastic. My name is Graham, and this is my world and my podcast. So, it is that time of year when taxes are due. And this year, for me, is chaotic. We adopted a couple of kids. One year, and then adopted another one the next year. This has kind of been a frustrating ordeal for the last 5 years. It's been 6 years, but 5 years it's been frustrating. So with our daughter, we adopted her in 2011, and we did our taxes in 2012, and they have an adoption credit. So if you have a special needs child, you end up being able to basically get a refund back for the adoption costs. And so in 2012 we filed, and they gave us our adoption credit, and we walked away with our money back for the special needs adoption. Then we adopted our son in 2012 and went to go do it again in 2013, and the laws had changed. Thanks, Obama administration. So now, instead of having to wait, or instead of getting your refund, your adoption credit right then and there, they said, nope, now you have to wait 5 years. Okay. That would now be this year. So I started doing my taxes like I normally do, and coming to find out, now that it's 5 years, I'm not getting my adoption credit. It's being rolled over to next year. And I'm like, wait, no, it was a 5-year deal. It was 5 years. That was the law, the rule, the thing was 5 years, and then I would get it. We've been counting on this money to add to what we already have saved up for a down payment on a house. So I have to go to the big and H&R Block to sit down with someone who knows the rules and can tell me what the heck happened. I'm hoping it's just a glitch with TurboTax, which is the program that I use. Hopefully it's just a glitch. Something didn't calculate right, or it didn't see that I put in the right form, or something. So I get to go spend twice as much money with them that I do with my TurboTax. Yay. And I have to get my money on a frickin' piece of plastic instead of a check. Yeah, I know they still offer that, but if you want to get that, then you have to pay in full instead of having them take the money off of your account. Oh, just the whole thing is just a pain in the ass. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. I have to drive over to the storage unit, spend probably about 2 hours at the storage unit, trying to figure out where my 2013 and 2012 tax paperwork are, which I know where they're at. They're in the filing cabinet, but they're in the filing cabinet in the storage unit. And I've got to take a look at that 2013 and make sure that I filed the proper taxes and I did the proper paperwork that year. I wish I would have kept the 2013's taxpayers pamphlet, I think is what it's called, or something. It's like a book basically they hand you. But unfortunately, I didn't keep it. I should have. I don't know what I was thinking. So, I got that. And then here's the other problem. Because it's TurboTax, I'm a little on the lazy side. Usually you go to those box store like places, H&R Block or whatever, and Jackson Hewitt, and they give you a fancy envelope, and they put all of your tax paperwork in the fancy envelope, and they hand it to you to put in your filing cabinet. With TurboTax, you have to print it out yourself and put it in your own fancy envelope, which you have to go to the store and buy. I haven't done that. I'm pretty lazy. And now I'm going back and I'm looking at it, and for, 4 years? I think it's, 14, 15, 16. 3 years of tax returns. I'm looking at like 200 copies. 200 copies. And I'm like, frack, that's a lot of paper, people. But I got no choice. I've got to print them out and get them put in these fancy envelopes I picked up and take them over to the storage unit. Speaking of which, just now about to pull into the storage unit. Well, they got this fancy gate here, and you got to enter your little numbers. And it doesn't help that it's raining and snowy and funky today. Yeah, it doesn't help. It is nasty today, and it is cold. It's 34 degrees. It's wet. The wind is blowing a little, and it is just horrible. Don't like any of it. It's just horrible. But whatever, right? I mean, it is what it is, and life goes on. So that's what I get to do. I get to go through my storage unit and try to find my filing cabinet and go through the filing cabinet and get what I need. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And I probably should swing over to the credit union and grab me some monies, because I got a feeling I'm going to need some monies to pay H&R Block for their services. I just totally not in the mood, man. I really just... taxes are a pain in the butt. And I can't wait for next year. Next year we're going to own a house. And next year I get to pay even more taxes. Oh well. Alright, y'all. I'm going to go inside here and do this. I'll be back and you won't even know it. Alright. That didn't take too long. Looks like I found them. I grabbed the 2012 as well. They were a little bit further in there than I expected, but ooh, let's see. Did I do it? I did. I filed it correctly. Qualified adoption expenses. Okay. Perfect. Alright. I think, unless the law has changed, I think I finally get the money. Oh, we spent almost $13,000 on each kid. And we should have gotten our money when we asked for it. So, my goodness, this is like episode 29. Wow. Is it really? Wait. it? Oh my goodness. I cannot believe that I have been doing this for so long. I really didn't think I was going to keep doing a podcast this long. I seriously did not think this was going to happen. I'm blown away each and every day. I'm absolutely blown away. Taxes are one of those things, unless you are really up there in age and you're on Social Security, in certain situations, you don't really have to file. But even if you're, and the thing is too, even if you're on Social Security and you're receiving those benefits, you should still file. 4, 2, 8. You should still file. And the reason I tell you, I'm saying that is because it shows that you still exist. You're still a person. I think they try to write everybody off. And here's the thing too that I think is really kind of weird is, more of my thought process and stuff. But I think once you start accepting money from the government in the form of a check every month, it almost makes you feel as if your opinion or your vote doesn't count anymore. At least that's my perspective. Now, I was on Social Security for about 4 years because of the cancer and stuff. When I was diagnosed a terminal cancer patient. I was going to die. They did not, they just did not see any way for me to survive. I was dead as far as they were concerned. And it wasn't until they suggested that I go to Fred Hutch in Seattle that, you're alive. You're gonna get a second chance here, buddy. And so while I was on that, receiving my benefits and everything, medical and money and stuff. I mean, I was receiving my Social Security, and that's how I felt. I felt like I no longer had an opinion, like I no longer was necessary, like I was a burden on society. I didn't feel like I contributed anymore, and it was ground shaking and just so horrible. I mean, and ever since then, I've always worked. Even before I was sick, I worked. I even tried to do some pizza delivery in the evenings while I was working, or while I was sick. And I mean, I've always worked. Always worked. I cannot not work. I will probably work literally until the day I'm dead. I don't think that I will ever have a retirement. Now, I don't necessarily like working, but I feel as if I don't work, then I'm not contributing to our world, to our society. I feel like my participation helps keep things moving. I'm doing my fair share, and I think a lot of the reason I feel the way I do about it was my childhood. I kept hearing about my grandfathers, both my mom and my dad's dad, and how both of these guys were the kind of guys that would take the shirt off their back for anybody who needed it. They were the kind of guys that would bust their butt and work real hard, and they never let anybody down. And if they ever promised you something, then they would fulfill. They were like the bomb diggity. These guys were amazing. And meanwhile, my dad, probably for about 20 years, didn't have a job, lived on welfare. Oh, I remember being a kid, one of the things that made him more angry than anything was when Bill Clinton, or his regime, or whatever you want to call it, his whatever presidency, started trying to get rid of welfare and making everybody go back to work. And it angered the hell out of him. He didn't want to work. He's like, I just don't see the point. Why should I? And so he did everything he could to get fired, including not taking a bath for months on end, stinking like nobody's business. He worked as a security guard for a very long time, and just did everything he possibly could to not work. And yeah, it just it's so sad. I don't understand why somebody would do that. It makes no sense to me. But that is what it was, and that's what he did. He just pretty much refused to do anything that needed to get done. And yeah, pretty crazy. And I think by me hearing him and my mom talk about my grandfathers my whole childhood, pretty much, I think, and then watching him do basically the opposite, it made me think, you know what, I've got to break the cycle. I've got to make my mom or my grandfathers, I've got to make them happy with what I'm doing. You know, that I've learned from my father's mistakes of wanting to live off the system. And so I think that's what I did, is I said, okay, well, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work as hard as I can and for as long as I can, and I'm gonna bust my butt doing it. And so that's what I've done. But I've gotten to this point recently here. I've supported my wife for the last 7 years going through school. And she's, got her bachelor's degree in business management and all this kind of stuff. She really wants to go back to work. And I've kind of got to this point where I want to own my own business. I want to start making soap. Now, I know that at first, maybe the first couple of years, I ain't going to make much profit off of it. But I want to make soap, and I want to make a big bar soap, a manly bar soap. And I'll probably sell on Etsy or something like that. But I think that starting my own business where I can manage my own time and manipulate my schedule and have something that's mine, that I created, I think is extremely important. The other thing I want to do is I want to buy this house, and in a couple of years I want to take whatever equity I have and roll it into another home, and do that a few times and have some rental properties, so I've got some income, some extra income later in life after these mortgages are paid off. That's kind of the direction that I want to go. But okay, hey, I'm here at my credit union, so I'm going to run inside and do what I got to do there, and I'll be right back to keep talking with you. It's almost like today is a day to run errands. Not what I wanted to do today. I wanted to sit on my butt and chill out, watch some comedy or something, maybe a good movie. So I weighed myself last night, and I am 199 pounds, and it's been I think today's now 16 days that I've been doing this intermediate fasting. And we are slowly cutting carbohydrates out of our diet. The last 2 days I haven't had any carbohydrates. It's just been vegetables, meat, healthy fats, and that kind of stuff. But we're trying to slowly get ourselves over to more of a ketogenic setup. So, but I'll let you know more about that as time goes by. So until then, I'm just going to keep on running around with my head chopped off, trying to get those wonderful things in life that have to get done. So until then, y'all have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, bye for now.
This has been a Graham's World broadcast brought to you directly from Graham's mind. So stay tuned because there's more to come.